Yo, people, wagwan. Welcome back. Today we have me, Mr. King Boss. We have Mr. JJ. Say hello, Mr. JJ.
Well on, people. How's everyone doing?
Good. And we have Mr. Ramo.
Well, go on. What's going on, everyone? Welcome.
Welcome indeed. All right, so in today's episode, spoiler alert, for me anyway, we're going to run down that, what do you guys say, train wreck of a situation that Microsoft has going on over there.
Listen,
Train wreck, you know.
listen,
That's a train
listen,
wreck.
listen. The narrative online is the total opposite of what you just said. The
They're
narrative
wrong.
online is that Xbox had an amazing showcase,
They're wrong.
best one for years, apparently.
Maybe it was the best one for years, but that doesn't mean it wasn't a train wreck. It just means it was less of a train wreck than the previous ones.
I think it was crap.
I don't think it was any good.
Uh,
I
and
don't
you know
think
what? They tried to say it's the more diverse thing.
it was very diverse in the sense that they had all these indie games, all these FPS games. They had a racer, they had RPG. So it was a bit diverse, but diverse with not much quality. I'm no disrespect to any of these game developers, but this is not what I
Double A
was waiting
games.
for. Yeah,
That's
double A
what they
games.
call
Yeah,
them, double A
double
games.
A games.
Me, I just saw first person shooter after first person shooter. Not to say that there
That's
wasn't
true. I've
anything
got
else.
loads of first-person shooter games.
Yeah, not to say that there wasn't anything else peppered in between, but so many of the same type of game it gets stale, bro.
Do you remember me saying like they're trying to get back to the Xbox 360 days where Xbox was known as the shooters console?
Yeah, to be
But
honest, that's the thought I've always had in my head from like whenever I associate Xbox with games, it's the shooter console.
yeah,
I'll be honest with you.
boy, all I
But
can say, I mean,
in this day and age, when you see the type of games that are getting the critical acclaim and are winning these game awards and are getting these high scores, they're rarely shooters.
that's true. They're normally story-driven RPG action-ish type games, yeah. But
Yeah,
the thing is,
let's not.
Microsoft knows this, so I don't know what.
But maybe then they don't really care about those accolades.
Well, you know what? Just before the E3 showcase that in that same week, they did mention that they're moving away from the hardware of the Xbox console itself, and they're going to try and get the Xbox app or the Xbox streaming stick in people's hands. Now, I mean
Are
that
you are
coupled
you
with
sure they're moving away from it though?
not necessarily moving away, but it won't be the main driving force going forward anymore.
Yeah,
Whereas now it's buy the box and the box does everything. I
yeah.
think they're
It's a
they're
service.
clearly a good business company, but I don't
Yeah.
know if their gaming, as you said, accolades are going to be up there anymore because this just seems like a total business decision that's not really good for us.
For me, when it
You
comes
reckon?
to the showcase, if we're just gonna stick with that,
Mm.
it seemed like a very good advert for Game Pass.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah,
Because
but
I've always been in the mindset that I've never really thought Game Pass was all that. Like the
mm,
idea of it's good, like games coming to it day one and this that and the third, but then Xbox have never really had any games to sell Game Pass to me like that.
hmm
Watching this showcase and seeing
Mhm.
like so even though I said I feel like the showcase was bad, that's not to say that I didn't see some games that I thought looked good or that I would actually like to play because I did,
yeah.
and a lot of them were going to Game Pass, which I thought okay, so for me,
Mm.
I could just get Game Pass then.
I listen. I 100% agree with you because for £10 a month or £120 a year, that's two full price games. You'll get everything that Microsoft drops and some exclusive stuff as
And
well from other
exclusive and
companies.
some third parties as well.
Yeah, so it's a Game Pass is a no-brainer, right? But
Yeah,
buying an Xbox is like, well,
exactly. They've
I could just get the streaming stick, or I could play it on my phone when they finally get everything working on the phones. Or you have a nice gaming PC, you could just play it on there. There's no need for you to buy an Xbox.
for someone like me, they've put me in a position where I don't ever feel like I'm gonna feel the need to buy an actual Xbox console
But
ever again. I
but
would say obviously not everybody can afford
That's when you got a powerful laptop.
it exactly, but that's what I was about to say. Not everybody can afford the hardware or the PC hardware to run games. So
Yeah, but
obviously,
this is where it comes in.
those are the people that the console will appeal to. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but saying that, they're going to be putting game streaming on the PC version of Game Pass. So you don't even need powerful hardware. You just need to be able to stream it to the PC.
You just need good internet.
Yeah, good internet, and even beyond that, they don't make no money from the Xbox. Remember that they make money from the services. So
Yeah,
if you get your Game Pass, that's all they want from you. Because who's gonna cancel £10 a month when they get everything Microsoft does, if and when Microsoft starts dropping good games, if and
yeah,
when Bethesda or ZeniMax starts dropping good games, you're just gonna get the next Doom, you're gonna get the next Fallout, you're gonna get the next this, right? £10 a month
yeah.
seems like nothing because now we're expected to buy games for
Hmm.
what £70 per game, brand new now. So £10 a month is juice money at the shop.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, especially if you're only getting. Hang on.
no, sorry, no, I was just gonna say that, like, obviously, Game Pass, they're adding value to it more and
Mm,
more. Like I said, I was already in the mindset that Game Pass wasn't really good when
mm.
I first ever went onto Game Pass and I saw that they were offering one or two decent games, and then 98 of them were rubbish. Obviously, they've added the Bethesda library and a couple other bits here and there. And obviously, off the back of the showcase, I've seen quite a few games that they're adding that I actually do want to play. That I'm actually happy they're adding to it, which makes me feel like I'm getting value for my money. Do you get what I'm saying? So they've definitely improved on Game Pass.
Fair, fair. All right.
Hmm.
JJ, did you want to add anything?
Um. Well, it's more or less similar to what you guys were saying actually. That I feel like this showcase for me didn't seem like it was aimed too much at gamers, or they were even trying to compete with Sony. One thing I noticed about it is that they went with no wow factor games. A lot of games practically look the same, and yeah, I didn't see anything in there that had people going crazy. Like, yo, like I need to go buy an Xbox. Like, I need to go and invest in this console. Like, I need to play this game. This game looks crazy.
I'd
Again,
say
and it's what you said
go
before.
on Twitter,
Story
go
is
on Twitter for 10 minutes, brother, and you'll see the people going wild saying that was amazing.
That's crazy. Are we the ones that are crazy
really.
then, or like what's going on? Because you guys know me. I'm the big Xbox guy here, right? Everybody's jumped over to PlayStation. I'm here sitting like, okay. They showed 10 seconds of the Halo gameplay. No, not Halo, Forza.
Campaign.
They showed
Oh,
10 seconds of the Forza campaign. I was like, well, that's all we're showing for. I'm just like, what? You showed a car driving on a straight road for 10 seconds. The Halo campaign, I didn't see anything in the campaign other than the fact that we know he's going to get a new AI. Cortana's still missing. Like, no gameplay, no nothing. I'm still,
Yeah.
I'm just not happy. I'm not happy. That's all I can say. And even when they started with Starfield, I was like, okay, they're starting strong. Let
yeah,
me
that's right.
let me see what Starfield is about. And to this day, I still don't. I can't tell you what Starfield is about.
Don't know what it is, like what even kind of
Yeah,
game it is. They
yeah.
said it's an RPG.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
and they
if
did say, um, it was gonna what be like a Han Solo.
simulator.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what does that even mean? So, I think it was me and you, Ray, that were trying to break down what that meant.
Yeah,
And
Indiana Jones in space.
yeah, I'm just like, but what does that really mean though? Is it exploration? Is it anyways, they could have been a lot more explicit in what the game was about. Like, all right, when Cyberpunk was being pushed out there, we knew what Cyberpunk was going to be.
Yeah,
Even though the game turned out rubbish, we knew what we were expecting, a first person shooter that was RPG like, it was an open world. We knew what we were getting. With this, it's still up in the air for me. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I'm still
yeah.
lost.
For me, that's just what ruins it for me because like all these games that you're trying to get me excited for, you haven't given me a reason to be excited for them. Even before this year, if you check the hype for Starfield, it's actually through the roof.
Yeah, yeah.
And before yesterday, the only thing that was unveiled about Starfield was literally the logo. Like literally, I think there was like a 30-second trailer of the logo coming out of space, and people have been talking about this game for about 2 years now or something like that. It was revealed at E3 a few years ago, I believe. So that hype was crazy, and then they done a CG trailer yesterday, which I guess visually looked good, and as you can see, it's set in space. But we already knew that from the trailer that we had from 2 years ago.
Starfield. That already told us
And the
that.
name, I guess. I mean, so they literally haven't done anything.
They haven't done anything, yo.
Well, I mean, I guess they gave us a release date, which is a year and a half away. It's going to come out 2 years after the Series X.
But you know what?
Been
Do you remember that initial video that they gave us with the space person and the girl falling out of the sky, and they did that thing where it caught them? That was more interesting than what they showed at E3.
Okay, I
By
don't even know
far.
if I've seen that.
Yeah, it's like the first trailer they gave us. That was much more interesting. All right, so on this list I have here, it's a lot of games, but to be honest, the ones that don't belong to Microsoft we're not even going to mention, because the fact that you're going to be able to get this on Switch or PlayStation or PC means that it shouldn't have been shown here. This is not your property, unless it was a case where it was going to be, these will be on Game Pass day
On
one.
Game Pass Day One.
Other than that, I didn't need to see a full 3-4 minute gameplay of Battlefield. That was pointless.
Yeah,
That was
I thought they were
absolutely
doing-
pointless.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought they were doing that because it was leading up to the reveal. It was going on Game Pass Day One or something. like
Yeah,
that.
that's what I thought as well. But it was just like, here's Battlefield. I was like, okay. I mean,
Why are you showing me this?
yeah, EA would have done their own E3 thing and told us this, but thanks. Right, so let me list out a few games that I have here, and you guys tell me whether you even remember them or what you think of them, all right? So we mentioned Starfield already. We have Back for Blood.
I remember that, but we already. This is the thing. They showed us games we've known about since
For a
months ago.
while, yeah, fair enough. So
I know about Back for Blood. Thought it looked interesting. Wasn't like super excited about it, but I thought, yeah, if I've got some friends to play that with, I might pick it up. They didn't give me any different feelings from what they done yesterday at their conference. I mean, it's going on Game Pass Day One, which is, I guess, is good for me if it's cross-plat with PC and Xbox, I guess.
so you're gonna keep the Game Pass from now on then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've shown quite a few games that I want to play that are going onto Game Pass. So that being one, Back for Blood, Hades being another one. There was an RPG like game. I can't remember what it's called for the life of me. That's going onto Game Pass. I think next year at some point.
Okay.
That's another one. There was a few. There's about 4 or 5 that they showed in their showcase.
Back for Blood did actually look decent, yeah.
So
It did actually look decent.
Back for Blood's one of them.
Okay, the next one I have on my list is Contraband. Do you remember that one?
That was they just done like a little trailer for it, like with some photos hanging or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. That's all it was, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
we don't know anything about it.
The thing is, they didn't reveal anything. It wasn't like there was much you can take from it and say, yes, I saw that looks this. A lot of the stuff. The only thing to be honest, that I personally go, okay, you know what? I know exactly what that would do with the fridge.
no. Actually,
the fridge.
I think the next game on the list was one of the best things that they've done, and it's Sea of Thieves, Pirates of the Caribbean. That was clear. It was explicit. We know what's coming. There is no gray area. We know exactly what we're getting, and I think that's what they need to continue with. What do you guys think?
You think? The Pirates of the Caribbean game, it did look. I like the fact that they went with a cartoon feel.
Well, I mean, it's not a
Because
Pirates
some
of the
people
Caribbean
might
game.
prefer proper animation,
it's-
but I think the cartoon feel would work.
No.
Sea
That
of
game
Thieves.
is already out. That game
It's
is
Sea
already
of
out.
Thieves.
I mean, it's
That's the Sea of Thieves DLC.
Yeah, it's just DLC for a game that's already there.
That game's been out
Yeah.
since like 2016 or something like that.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm
longer.
saying. So
2018, I think. Sea of Thieves has been out since.
Well, yeah, I think that was a good show
So
in
what is
there.
it? So
That was
what
that
are
was
they doing?
kind of
Are they like remastering it
no,
or?
no. It's just
No,
DLC.
no, they've literally just added
That's
DLC,
all it is. Nothing else.
Pirates of the Caribbean themes because obviously Sea of Thieves is like a pirate game
Mm.
anyway. So they've added a special guest in Jack Sparrow and a
Jack
few
Sparrow, yeah.
characters from Pirates of the Caribbean.
And I think it just made perfect sense. It's a good
Yeah,
So
fit.
really
It
and
definitely.
truly,
made
they
perfect sense.
highlighted in a showcase a DLC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah.
One thing I'd like to highlight to you guys, especially you, Ron,
Mm.
is if Xbox didn't have Bethesda, how much trouble would they be in?
They're already in not deep water, but they're in drowning water right now as it is, even with Bethesda.
If they didn't go and spend that 7.5 billion or 10 billion or whatever on Bethesda, take away all the Bethesda games from that showcase yesterday, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and like bad as it is already, take away all the Bethesda games. So you look at all the Xbox game studios that they've acquired over the years, barring Bethesda.
Mm.
Do you feel like they've put in enough work?
I don't think they did, personally. And I know everyone is going to blame the pandemic and Corona and all of this working from home stuff. Yes, that is very, very true. People are working from home. It is taking longer. But because they've been consistently doing rubbish, as in not giving people what they want or not giving the masses what they want, it's going to be harder to give them a pass now. Whereas Sony, if Sony doesn't come with more than about 3, 4, 5 games at their showcase, and we're like, listen, guys, it's COVID, we're working from home, we're trying to do our best. People will understand because when at the end of the PS4's life cycle, which was when the PS5 came out, Sony was dropping games still, brand new IPs. Ghost of Tsushima, I haven't played it, but that game looks pretty as hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you
Yeah,
guys
I feel like
can just hear
Microsoft
how upset I
definitely.
am at Microsoft. Like it's just so disappointing.
Disappointing.
So disappointing.
They just haven't done anything to
Yeah,
excite me in the slightest, man.
yeah. I mean, I've been pushing.
Why do you
Oh, I
think that
wanna.
is though?
I don't
Bec-
know. I just feel like they
I,
just don't know what we want. I'll be honest with
I
you.
think they know what we want, but
They're out of touch with the
the
fans.
money isn't coming from what we want, yo. The
No,
money
but you
isn't.
know what? But I'll be honest. Like I said, go on Twitter for 10 minutes.
Mm,
There are people on there saying that was amazing. So
they're wrong.
there
They're
are
wrong.
obviously people, and I'm not even just talking about publications. Let's not even start on the narrative to boost Xbox and stomp down Sony by actual publication. I'm just talking about normal people though.
They're wrong. Don't care who they
Yeah,
are.
normal people saying that it was amazing. There's so many games that they're looking forward to. Blah blah blah.
Mm,
So, like, I feel like Xbox fans and PlayStation fans,
So
we're just
something
different
is so
people.
something is
I'll be honest with you.
so something
We're
is
just different
working
people
then.
that like different things, innit?
Yeah, that's it. But to be
But one
honest,
thing
like,
I will say is,
Hundred
sorry
percent.
to cut you guys. One thing I will say is if any of the PlayStation exclusives were on Xbox or were Xbox exclusives, Xbox fans would be drooling over them.
hundred
As
percent,
opposed to
100%.
the exclusives that they have, I just don't really care about them. I'll be honest. Like, I don't mind missing out on those games
Listen,
at all.
as the Xbox
Genuinely.
guy who's been pushing and begging and telling you guys, just wait, they're coming, just wait. I can't say that anymore. All I can
So
say
we're
now
still
is,
waiting. They're still coming.
all I can say is that, obviously they're gonna come with stuff. We know they're coming with stuff, but it's not like
Nah, I don't know
is
this now.
no. They are, I mean, Bethesda is
Yeah,
there,
man.
and it's not
Yeah,
like
but
they're
Bethesda
gonna stop
showed their
doing stuff.
hand though. They've showed what game they're working on.
I
They've
don't think
actually
they've shown
shown it.
everything. Nah, Doom is coming, yo.
Obviously,
Doom is coming.
Elder Scrolls.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
haven't shown that.
That's another
For
one.
whatever Fallout
Fallout,
is,
they haven't
and
shown that.
then I
Wolfenstein,
guess
they haven't
But hold
shown
on.
that.
But can you also turn around and say, yeah, Microsoft have more money than Sony, and yet Sony is still able to push out games better than them and more consistent.
And this is
So
what I'm
how with
saying.
the money that they
it's
have,
not about the money,
the
though,
money that
guys.
they have, yeah.
It's not about the money.
No,
It's
but
about the studios.
No, it kind of is about the money as well because that's the difference between them. Microsoft is just this big, huge corporation that does everything under the sun, right? Sony is laser focused on gaming.
Yeah,
Even though they
to me
might
that
not be consumer friendly sometimes, they're so laser focused. Like 2018 when God of War came out, that thing was just groundbreaking. And even to this day,
the thing is, yeah, I say this all the time. Sony can't afford to be as consumer friendly as Microsoft. That's the bottom line of it. They cannot make their games, spend millions on however much millions on making their games,
And then
and
give
then
it for £10
give
a
them
month.
to us on some sort of service for free. They can't afford to do that, bro.
True.
Because they don't have Microsoft money. So I do not mind spending
That's
my
what I'm
money
saying.
on the Sony games because I get it. I totally understand.
So do you
Microsoft
reckon? Do you reckon
Microsoft are in it.
the money? Do you reckon the money situation for Sony? Obviously, they're billionaire. They're £1 billion company. However,
Of course, they're rich.
do you reckon
But
that money?
the fact that
No, but I was good.
the fact that PlayStation is Sony's most successful sector says it all.
Yeah, they're laser
And
focused.
they do loads of things. They make television, they make loads of gadgets.
That's
The
it.
fact that PlayStation is their most successful sector says everything. I'm sure that's not the case for Xbox or Microsoft.
No, the most successful sector
Do you reckon?
is definitely not Xbox. What's your question, JJ?
Do
Sorry.
you reckon? Do you reckon it's because of that? Because like obviously Microsoft, they have Microsoft Office, they have other stuff going for them, whereas
don't
Sony
really-
literally have to focus on the games, and plus they don't have as much money, so Sony's gonna be more driven to be like, yo, if we don't push out games, we're gonna go bust. Whereas Microsoft is like, yeah, yeah, we can do that.
I think
got
it's a
billions.
yes.
You reckon the drivers got there?
I think it's a yes and no answer because they have an Xbox division that's dedicated to just Xbox, and those guys have a budget, right? But I
Yeah.
think because they're being
And again, they
like
have
Phil
the money
Spen-
to throw away.
Not yeah, but Phil Spencer has a boss, and that boss is saying what makes the most money in Xbox. It's not selling the Xbox console itself; it's Game Pass, because people will forget
Game
that
Pass isn't profitable for them yet, though.
it is.
It isn't. It actually isn't. It's not profitable for them yet. Look it up.
But they're
hasn't
losing
become-
money on Game Pass
They're still selling subscriptions for $1 and
It's not.
£1. I just got Game Pass for 3 months for £1 nowadays.
for £1 again.
They're
Well,
still
maybe they're buying
still-
people in.
Yeah,
They have to lower you in somehow.
No, I think it was only like about a month.
I mean, how are you
ago.
making profit on
I'm
£10
sure
a
that they
month?
said it's not profitable for them just yet.
It's ridiculous. I mean, okay, I just don't know what they're doing
Wow.
because I'm gonna have to just stick with my One X now and just not jump to Series X yet because Halo still doesn't have a release date. Halo that was supposed to come with the £450 box doesn't have a release date a year or almost a year after it was released. How does that make sense? Yes, you're working from home, but you're also one of the biggest
They haven't even announced the
corporations
full-on
on the
release date.
planet, and they still don't have a date as to when they want to take my money. And I'm just like, what's going on? They hyped up the free
And the thing
multiplayer
is,
so
it's
much.
really bad that they're leaving the.
And I read this for you guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it said, look, Microsoft has reportedly been sustaining Xbox Game Pass without registering any profit since the subscription-based service was launched nearly 4 years ago. This was an article from a month ago. The Verge editor Tom Warren explained that the revenue obtained through millions of subscriptions is not enough to balance out the costs incurred in terms of acquiring new games and publishing deals, general investments, and so on. Not to mention the upkeep cost of hosting Xbox Game Pass across the world on multiple platforms. The highly popular subscription-based service hence continues to post losses, but which Microsoft expects to turn around in the future.
I mean, I guess they're still going after that very long game type situation where they're looking
Yeah.
10, 15, 20 years in the future. And it is the future, but what about now? It definitely is. It's like me saying, oh my God, I want to retire so much. I can't wait for retirement. But in the meantime, I'm not doing nothing else at all. I'm just sitting there waiting for retirement. Doesn't make much. I don't know
If we're
what's going
talking
on.
about the long game, like say like cool 10 years down the line or 15 years down the line, we're going to be on the PS7 and the Xbox, whatever they're going to call it.
I know, right?
Do you think that Sony have anything to worry about in terms of competition from Microsoft?
Games wise, no.
Just not even just games wise, just in terms of obviously Sony's got something like 45% market share right now. I think they said for this generation they're going for over 50. Remember, it's not.
Wow.
Remember, Microsoft is not their only competition. They got
Yeah, they have
Nintendo
Nintendo as
and
well.
one or
Yeah,
two other things as well. So
yeah.
the fact that they had 45 from PS4 era
It's
is
crazy.
so.
It's crazy.
In terms of, I'm talking when I say do they have anything to worry about? I'm talking about in terms of losing that momentum. They said they're going for 50 or over 50 by the end of the PS5 generation. So do you
Um,
think in terms of market share they have anything to worry about
I
with
think
Microsoft playing this long game?
I'll let me think about this for a second. So JJ, if you want to go first.
So Ray's question is, do Xbox have anything to worry about? No, sorry, do
No,
Sony.
PlayStation
no,
have
no,
anything?
no. Yeah.
Yeah. So do PlayStation have anything to worry about regarding the future
Like market
regarding the
share
future?
and Xbox catching up with them or whatever, basically.
No, me personally, no, because I feel like Sony has spent time learning the market, and I feel like they've spent this time as well. They've seen how the 360 straight away outsold the PlayStation 3 in the beginning, and boom, the PlayStation 3 was able to catch up at the last minute and outsell the 360, and then boom, they continued that momentum into the PS4 and still continuing that momentum into the PS5. And Xbox has just so I feel like right now, if Xbox was to overtake, Sony will pull the same strategy they did with the PS3 and just keep releasing games. Because with the Japanese market that they have over there and the Japanese people that they have working on their games, no, I don't think that they'll take. Because Japanese people don't like losing, so I don't feel like they
You got to remember though.
honestly.
I don't know if you know, but they've moved away from Japan in terms of like creating games. They've been trying to focus on the Western market more.
Yeah, I remember
They
seeing
even
that.
closed their
It,
they closed their Japan studios. I think just at the
really,
start of the generation, start of the PS5 generation. Yeah,
whoa, there must have been an
Um,
interesting reason for that then. But I
uh,
still think though I still think though the creators of Sony will still try, even with the Western market, they'll still try to keep pushing out games because they won't want to lose anyway. I don't think that I don't think PlayStation have anything to worry about,
yeah.
literally.
Cool.
Microsoft right now, I think the only how Sony needs to be worried is if Microsoft creates like a season game, like a God of War or a special game on their console with a character that people just go, yo, I need to buy an Xbox for this game and I need to keep getting them every year or something like
Yeah,
that.
but I feel like there's so many of those on the PlayStation. So
that's the thing.
Microsoft would have to do that.
They would have to at least match what
They'd have
PS
to do it
has.
more than once because,
Yeah,
like, even like, cool, we've got God of War, we've got. Okay,
Ratchet and Clank,
I know, not all of us are into all of
Uncharted,
the games, but we've got God of War, we've got Uncharted, we've got Horizon,
Ratchet and
we've
Clank.
got Last of Us,
Yeah,
we've got Ghost of Tsushima, brand
yeah.
new IP.
Spider
Which I
Man.
can't wait for the sequel to that game. Do you
So
know what I'm
Spider-Man
saying?
franchise.
Spider Man.
So I don't see why Xbox haven't why they're not going. Spider-Man is no. I don't know why they're not going. Spider-Man is literally outselling. It's one of the most popular games on the PS5. Why? What or on the PlayStation in general? Why is Microsoft not going to Marvel or DC and
No,
thinking,
it's
you know
owned by
what?
Sony.
No,
No, they're not going to
The right Spider
Spider-Man.
Man, but they could go for another hero.
Spider, That's what I'm saying. Why are they deflecting from finding something that the fans can go, yo,
But
you
like,
know what? I would buy that game.
I just think it's a lot of
Like they're
moving.
not going to any superhero.
It's a lot of moving
Huh?
parts because you got to remember, okay, who's made the Spider-Man games? Insomniac. Who's to say that if one of the Xbox studios, say Rare, had Spider-Man, they'd be able to create a game just as good. Do you get what I'm saying? Because look, we know that just because it's a superhero game or it's popular, we doesn't mean it's going to turn out good. Look at Avengers.
Yeah, that was rubbish.
Look at Avengers. I saw the Guardians of the Galaxy gameplay at the Square
That
Enix.
looked decent.
Nah, man, that looked terrible,
It
man.
looked decent. It looked playable.
Jesus
It looked
Christ.
playable.
But yeah,
But hold
but
on, you see,
All right, so
but you see
I'll
like
use it. Sorry, go on.
so my
no, 'cause I
my
was gonna
my
say
answer.
like
Oh, sorry.
no, you go.
All right, my answer to that question: does Sony have anything to worry about?
Oh yeah.
Yes, they do, but the market share is still going to be the majority easily, because like you just said, it feels like Microsoft is doing like a mini rebranding where They're buying all these studios. They're keeping all their cards very close to their chest. And at some point, they're just going to drop everything. Sorry, at some point, they're going to drop everything on the table. And then we'll know what's going on. But by then, Spider Man 2, Horizon 2, Ghost of Tsushima 2, and Sony is going to having, like they did with Uncharted, where they had like 4 or 5 games, build up this amazing library that people have come to love, that it's going to be hard for Microsoft to catch up.
This is the thing. Like Sony have got, like just taking me for an example. Sony has got someone like me in a place where I'm just looking forward to sequels now, because the first games in all of these franchises have been so good that I just can't wait for sequels. And that's such a good position for them to be in. Like they don't always have to be thinking of new IPs, but at the same time they are still thinking of new IPs.
That's
They're
very
thinking of
true.
new IPs to capture
Very
us,
true.
but at the same time have all their old ones to fall back on.
But this
To
is
say
it.
the new ones flop, because look, we've had a flop already in Destruction All Stars,
Okay, yeah.
because that wasn't a very good game. I mean, the first time I played it, I was like, "This is fun," and then I played the multiplayer. I was like, "This is terrible." Another new IP that's dropped, which is a game that I love. I think it's promising. I'm not in a place where I am. Oh, I can't wait for number 2. Is Returnal. Very good game, very hard, challenging game, but it's something that if they really want to, they can build on it. I'll say Returnal's kind of in the same position as maybe Days Gone, because there's a lot of people that love it, and then there's a lot of people who are iffing and butting about it. I've never played Days Gone just yet, personally, to know. It just looks too similar to The Last of Us. But you know what I'm saying? They've got so
Yeah, I
many
get. They have stuff to fall
different,
back on. Yeah, that makes sense.
so many
But
things to
but
fall
but
back on.
this was what Halo and Fable and Forza. This is what those 3 franchises were supposed to be. The things
Yeah.
that people love, and Gears, obviously. The people.
Gears is for me is solid. But hey, bro, they didn't even show Hellblade yesterday. What
Oh
are they?
yeah, I forgot about
Oh
that.
yeah.
They
But,
Wow.
but
I
all right,
forgot
but
about that game
this is
totally.
where my theory comes in. Then they're holding their cards closer to their chest,
Either that or
waiting
it's
to
just
see what's
nowhere near
happening.
ready.
Yeah, it could be that.
Because they should have showed that, man. Let's be honest.
Listen, they should listen. Forget about that one. Halo. Who doesn't know about Halo from Xbox, yo? We haven't seen a Halo game in 5 years, I believe.
I'll say, listen, that multiplayer Halo looked good.
It looked, but I agree, 100%. It's completely free for everyone. PC and Xbox can jump on there, no problem. But where's the campaign?
Yeah.
Where's the thing
Yeah.
that people are going to spend the $70 on, or the £770 on? This is probably going to have microtransactions for sure. 'Cause it's going
LJ
to be
was saying
free.
that yesterday in the voice note. I don't know if you listened to his voice note where he was saying that it being free to play is just, for him, it's ruined it, because it's just going to be like another,
Another
like,
Twitch
where
shooter that you
where
just,
you've got
yeah.
seasons and stuff like that. So like obviously Warzone, you can see they've got seasons now.
Mm,
I think Fortnite started that trend of having seasons in their free to play games, and then loads of microtransactions and this, that, and the third. And I don't know.
Okay, so, I mean, in review, let's take final statements from each person. What do you think overall of the Microsoft showcase of E3 2021?
I'm gonna give you mine. My main takeaways. Some of these are negative, or most of these are negative, and there's 1 or 2 positive points. So for me, right at the top, no Hellblade. That's a big L. Don't know why they wouldn't show Hellblade. They started off with Starfield, but didn't show me any gameplay. So it's just, for me, that's just more piss in the wind, really. They didn't show. They showed a lot of games, but not a lot of gameplay for the new game that they showed. They showed gameplay for games that are already out, or games that we've already seen gameplay for. Loads of CGI trailers again. They showed a lot of launch exclusives, but not any true exclusives. Launch exclusives are games that are going to be on the Xbox for maybe 2-3 months before they go to all other platforms. Silly to me. So many first person shooters. For me, there wasn't enough variety. Positive, I'd say Halo looked better. The multiplayer looks good, but they didn't show enough of the campaign. On top of that, how do we have a solid release date for Starfield next year, November, but we don't have a solid release date for Halo. Doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
They didn't show any games to excite me or convince me to buy an Xbox whatsoever. Another positive, I'd say, Game Pass looks like it's getting better. They've added more value to Game Pass than the Xbox console itself. That's
Yeah,
just my take on it.
that's true. That's true.
They showed a few new games that I literally have no idea what they are or how they will play. Like that Contraband game,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
example.
yeah.
Even the last game they showed, the one that Phil Spencer said, "Oh, one more thing," like it was going to be something crazy, and it was just another CGI trailer. I don't know what the gameplay is like. Is it first person? Is it third person? I don't know. Um, I personally, at this point in time, don't see the point in owning an Xbox console. If you have a PC, I think it's the most pointless thing ever.
No, you're not lying there.
I just don't get it.
I mean, unless you prefer to play on the TV and you want to
For
have the
me,
HDMI.
experience.
brother, HDMI cable, baby.
They're cheap. They're very
But
cheap.
it might just play a bit slower. Some
No,
people
it
just don't
won't.
like it.
I think
Nah,
if you got a good enough cable, you're all right.
you're
Man.
you're good. HDMI from laptop to TV, you're golden. So, what are
Two
your
more
thoughts?
points I've got.
Oh,
Two
yeah,
more
sorry.
points I've got. I just don't understand the online narrative about that showcase being so amazing by
They're
all
lying.
these guys online. Oh, Xbox blew it out of the water. I just don't get it.
They're
Whatever.
lying.
All that.
They're lying. I'm,
I
I'm, I'm
personally
sure.
think there's a narrative. I don't know if Microsoft are paying people, whatever, but the narrative online right now is that Xbox are killing Sony, this, that, and the third.
How we haven't even seen Sony
I
showcase
don't get
yet.
it. I think Sony have dropped more exclusive this week alone than Xbox have dropped in the last few years.
They're
Ratchet
lying.
and Clank being one of them. They've dropped I think another exclusive this week. I can't remember exactly what it was. And my last point is the question I asked you guys: does Sony have anything to worry about? I don't think so. I think Game Pass might be something that they're looking at that they might need to counter. But in terms of games and like having their fan base and their core diehard PlayStation fans, I don't think you've got nothing to worry about whatsoever. Because me as a Sony fan, I watched that showcase, saw them things coming to Game Pass, and thought, okay, that's good. But I know that I'm not thinking of turning my back on my PlayStation or I don't think any less of my PlayStation. I'm very, very happy with my PS5. I've got loads of games to play. I've got loads of PlayStation, PS5 next gen games. No, I wouldn't say loads, but I've got one or two that I still haven't completed or still haven't played all the way through. I'm very happy with my PlayStation. And I've got a PC, so I have no reason to get Xbox.
That's
That's my
fair.
verdict on it.
That's fair. All right. Thank you, Mr. Ramo. That felt very emotional, but thank you.
No, I'm just reading it. I just wrote down my points from earlier.
Okay. Mr. JJ, what are your thoughts, sir?
To be honest, what I took from it was like it's the same old stuff that I expected from Xbox. I didn't expect anything exciting. As soon as you guys said Xbox Showcase, I had a little bit of hope, but right now I don't. After watching that, it's like yeah, it's actually taking me away from wanting to buy an Xbox. Like, I don't think I'll ever will. I'll stick to the PlayStation. I'm actually so glad I moved over to Sony, and I feel like this showcase literally just put a signature damp on why I ended up never needed an Xbox. No,
Same,
why I sold it.
literally same. It put that.
I feel like Microsoft. I feel like for me, I mean Microsoft. There's people out there that are just diehard Microsoft. They like the controller, stuff like that. But I feel like if you're a gamer, you like games. I don't see why anyone would want to go there. Because yes, they had games. Were they compelling games? Were they good games? Were they exciting games? No. And none of them seem like they had any good storyline campaigns that you'd be playing for hours. Like nothing looked like that. And I'm not a big first-person shooter. And that was another thing as well. I saw loads of first-person shooter games, and it just was like, yeah, well, no thank you. And Sony excels more in the third-person shooter, like third-person games, especially with their exclusives as well. So that's what I got from it.
So 0 out of 2 for Microsoft already. And I'm going to give it the home run. A
The
strike
clean
out.
sheet.
Yeah,
The white
strike
one.
out. Listen, listen, me. Phil Spencer, if you're watching this, hire me and I will tell you what to do. I know exactly what people like me want. I know exactly what gamers want. What you delivered yesterday, I'm sure somebody somewhere in the world liked everything you showed us yesterday. However, respectfully, sir, it could have been and it should have been at least 100 times better. I'm serious. We need to remain consistent. Microsoft has been consistently bad. We need to change that narrative. What I saw yesterday as somebody who has a 1X, who wants a Series X, maybe not after that, but no. The answer is just no.
I want to
If I want a Series X right now, I'll probably sell it.
I
In all
would keep
fairness.
it. I would keep it if I
I
want
was
it, but
I was thinking that yesterday. I was thinking to tell Hypage, bro, you got a P, you got the same laptop as me, bro. You might as well sell your Xbox because you don't need it. Like literally, you don't
he
need. What
doesn't
do you
need it
need
for
it
the Xbox games. But remember, like just like Hypes, I would prefer to play the cross games. So like Assassin's Creed that comes on both of them.
Fair enough.
I would
Fair
prefer
enough.
to play that on Xbox, just because for me the controller feels a lot more comfy.
Fair enough. I understand.
But for Xbox games, there was nothing there that was like, Mr. King Boss, make this your console.
Yeah.
So Microsoft, that's 0 out of 3. I hope you come better next time. I hope so, but I'm not gonna.
We said that last year too.
I said that
man.
last year. Exactly. This is my point. I was the one who was saying Microsoft is coming, guys. I'm sure they are coming with something, but they're taking too long.
2023.
But it's like start. They're starting the race when Sony's already halfway done with the race.
Oh no!
So
You sit
Yeah.
back and just look at all the exclusives that PlayStation have already dropped. Just look from last July to this July.
that's
I
what
should
I'm
have made a
saying.
list. I should have made a list. I wish I could. list them
Spider-Man,
all. Spider-Man being one.
Ghost of Tsushima,
Last of Us.
Last of Us
2.
2, yeah.
Godfall.
God, yeah.
Not to say that was the greatest game, but still,
Yeah, it's
Godfall,
still there. Ratchet and Clank just came out.
Ratchet and Clank, Demon Souls,
Yeah.
Returnal,
Yep.
Destruction, All Stars. Like I said, I'll say it again. Not the greatest game,
Yeah.
but it's still something.
That's 7 games already.
Do you see what I'm saying?
That's
and there's
7
more.
games.
There's more. I just can't think of any right now.
There was that robot one that we all thought was nice and good.
Well,
Controller.
Astro,
Astro.
Astro's Playroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small game. Obviously, it was a showcase
Cool
of
game, but it was a good
the
game for
controller,
a
but it
packing
was
game.
yeah, exactly.
You get it for free.
Eight games in a year.
I
8.
think there's more, but I just can't think of them right now. I'll be
But
honest with
those are the noteworthy ones because me that don't play them, I know them. So the fact that
Yeah.
I know them, an Xbox person knows them, means that they were big enough or good enough to be on the main stage at some point.
you. Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the King Boss. Microsoft, do better.
Please. Thank you for joining, guys.
Xbox do need to do better, and it's disappointing. You can't keep just releasing these sort of games. But thank you guys for listening and tuning in.
All right, peace.
Nice one.